When a former prosecutor claims dropping automatic weapon enforcement enhances public safety, something's broken. What you're about to see is Senator Jack Reed confronting Attorney General Pam Bondi over a Justice Department decision that could flood America's streets with military-grade firepower while she deflects to border politics. This isn't about guns. It's about who decides what the law means.
Senator Reed.
Chairman Moran, thank you.
You're welcome.
Yes. Madam Attorney General, on May 16th, the Department of Justice announced that it dropped litigation to enforce the law against forced reset triggers. These are devices that can be installed in a few minutes on guns like a AR-15 in order to match the rate of fire of a machine gun. In fact, according to demonstrations on YouTube and elsewhere, you can dispose of an entire 30-round magazine in about 4 seconds. So it is a fully automatic weapon. In the press release announcing the settlement, you are quoted as saying the settlement, quote, will enhance public safety. How does putting more automatic weapons, which have been against the law since the 1930s, enhance public safety?
Thank you for that question, Senator Reed. What that will do, it will enhance public safety by settling the litigation, because it is a guarantee that the manufacturer will not put that in handguns. We settled those cases because it was the right decision under the law. Nothing's comical about this. These devices are materially the same as bump stocks. The Supreme Court said last year that they are not machine guns under federal law. We followed the law. We will continue to follow the law. I'm a career prosecutor. I'm going to do everything in my power to keep Americans safe. What we should be concerned about up here are all the illegal guns flowing into our country by illegal aliens who have been free to walk into our country over the past 4 years. And we've taken thousands of those guns off of the street, including drugs,
How can
and
you
including
go ahead?
violent criminals.
Excuse me. How can you go ahead and say we're more safe today because they will not put these automatic firing devices in pistols, which have magazines of about maybe 20 rounds at most, or maybe 10, and have a range much less than an automatic weapon? Have you ever fired an automatic weapon?
I have.
Well, you understand then that that's a device that was designed to kill people. It's not a hunting rifle. It's not a target rifle. It's mass fire. And you made a compromise saying, well, don't put them in pistols, but you can go ahead and put them out in automatic weapons.
We followed the law. We will continue to follow the law. You and I clearly disagree on the Second Amendment.
Well, I agree that machine guns are not appropriate in the United States, and since 1930 or so, we've outlawed machine guns. And these semi-automatic weapons that are produced in volume are so easily converted to automatic weapons that you're ignoring the reality, frankly.
I'm following the law, Senator.
Well, yes, that's right. By the way, how many American weapons are going to Mexico in a year? What are we doing to stop American weapons going to Mexico to arm their gangs?
Well, we need to support that on both sides.
Well,
Weapons
what are you
coming in and
doing?
out of the
What are you
country.
doing to support it on our side?
We are arresting people who have illegal firearms in our country. We're not sending people back to Mexico with guns. We're throwing them in our jails and
No,
prosecuting them.
you're allowing them to be purchased in the United States and driven across the border. Most of these gangs have completely turned themselves into military organizations because they're using American weapons, American technology, and your argument is that, well, we're not doing anything about them.
No, not my argument. That was the policy of the last 4 years of the Biden administration with open borders. You could come back and forth across our borders. You could buy guns. You could take guns off the street. You could shoot people in our country. You could bring fentanyl into our country. You could bring methamphetamine into our country. You could bring cocaine into our country. That was the previous administration.
No,
not this.
What are you doing to stop the flow of weapons into Mexico?
We are arresting flow of weapons into. We are Our borders are closed. We are arresting illegal
really?
cartels. Sinaloa from Mexico, MS-13 from El Salvador, TDA. We are arresting from Venezuela. ATF has seized over 14,600 guns since Donald Trump has been president. That's a 33% increase from the last administration. And think about that. That's with our borders secure.
Were they coming into
So they weren't doing anything.
Were they coming into the United States?
Our borders are closed. They're not coming in or out of the United States now across Mexico. We've done a 33% increase in firearm seizures. Think about that. Think about that, Senator, from the last administration. 33% increase. And our borders are closed. So we're getting all these guns off the streets that came into our country. And I'm so proud of the work of the men and women in law enforcement.
I don't think you've done anything to severely interrupt the arming of Mexican gangs, because that's really not what your focus, and I think your focus should be on that. But thank you, Mr. Chairman.
And can I just add one thing? And
No,
because
excuse
the
me.
borders are closed, we are stopping the guns from going to Mexico.
Well, let me ask you another question. If the borders are closed, why do we have a division headquarters of the United States Army in Fort Huachuca and military elements across the board when the borders close and Border Patrol can handle it?
As former military, I would think you would know the answer to that, to keep Americans safe.
No, I think it's to promote the president's policies on the border, and the readiness of our forces is suffering as a result. Thank you.
Senator Britt.
What Senator Jack Reed exposed in this exchange wasn't just a policy disagreement about gun regulations. It was a window into how political appointees can reframe law enforcement defeats as public safety victories. Reed's questioning methodically dismantled Bondi's claim that dropping litigation against forced reset triggers would enhance public safety by revealing the logical contradictions at the heart of that position. The technical reality Reed presented is stark. Forced reset triggers allow semi-automatic weapons to fire at rates approaching machine guns, emptying a 30-round magazine in 4 seconds. When the Supreme Court ruled that bump stocks don't technically qualify as machine guns under existing federal law, the Justice Department faced a choice: appeal the decision, seek new legislation, or abandon enforcement entirely. The settlement essentially codifies this loophole, allowing manufacturers to continue production while restricting only specific applications. It's legal hair-splitting that prioritizes technical compliance over public safety outcomes. Reed's military background gave his questions devastating authority. When he described these devices as designed to kill people rather than hunt or target shoot, he wasn't making a political argument. He was stating a tactical fact. The settlement Bondi defended essentially allows civilian access to combat-level firepower, while claiming it enhances safety, because manufacturers promised not to install the devices in handguns. Bondi's defense that they followed the law misses Reed's deeper point. Following the law means more than accepting judicial defeats. It means using prosecutorial discretion to protect public safety within legal boundaries. When Reed asked how more automatic weapons enhance safety, he wasn't challenging legal technicalities. He was challenging the department's priorities. The exchange revealed how deflection works in practice. Rather than addressing Reed's concern about automatic weapons, Bondi pivoted to immigration and border security. This wasn't random evasion, but strategic redirection toward prepared talking points. The problem is that gun trafficking and immigration enforcement are separate issues requiring different solutions. Bondi's pivot to illegal aliens and drug cartels allowed her to avoid defending the indefensible while positioning herself as tough on crime. But Reed's persistence exposed logical gaps. If automatic weapons enhance public safety, why restrict them only in handguns? These contradictions reveal policy incoherence masked by political messaging. Reid's follow-up about weapons flowing into Mexico exposed another contradiction. If the administration is truly committed to stopping gun violence, why focus only on weapons coming into the United States while ignoring the massive flow of American weapons, arming Mexican cartels? Bondi's response about increased seizures actually proved Reid's point. If seizures are up 33%, it suggests the problem has grown, not diminished. The border closure claims reveal how political messaging can obscure operational reality. Reid's question about why military units remain deployed if borders are truly closed highlighted the gap between rhetoric and facts. You can't have record seizures from a problem that doesn't exist. Reid's focus on weapons flowing south to Mexico revealed a blind spot in enforcement strategy. American firearms fuel KL violence that creates migration pressures. When Reid pressed this point, Bondi had no substantive response because the administration treats symptoms rather than causes. Reid's military background informed his understanding of automatic weapons as tools designed for combat, not civilian use. His frustration wasn't just about policy disagreement, but about watching someone responsible for public safety minimize genuine threats while emphasizing political talking points. The broader implications extend beyond any single confirmation hearing. When the Justice Department abandons enforcement of laws designed to protect public safety, it signals that political considerations trump legal obligations. Career prosecutors and FBI agents observe these exchanges and adjust their expectations accordingly. If leadership celebrates litigation defeats as victories, it creates a culture where avoiding difficult cases becomes preferable to pursuing justice. This matters for every American who expects equal protection under law. Whether it's antitrust enforcement against powerful corporations, civil rights protection for vulnerable communities, or public safety measures like automatic weapons restrictions, the Justice Department's credibility depends on consistent application of legal principles rather than political expediency. What Reid demonstrated is that oversight works when senators ask specific questions and demand specific answers. The American people deserve attorneys general who can defend their decisions on the merits, not just redirect to safer political territory. Democracy requires institutions strong enough to resist political pressure and leaders honest enough to acknowledge when they fall short.